Mira pushed through the revolving glass doors of Sterling Heights with the awkward hesitation of someone who felt she might be turned away at any second. The lobby swallowed her whole, an echoing cathedral of wealth, with skylights pouring gold-tinted sunlight onto marble floors polished so smooth she could see her own anxious reflection. People in sleek suits glided past her like they were floating, each one radiating a confidence Mira had never managed to borrow, even on her best days. She clutched the plain brown envelope tighter, pressing it against her coat as though shielding it from the extravagant air around her. It didn't belong in a place like this. Neither did she. The security guard by the reception desk eyed her immediately, a slow, assessing sweep from her scuffed shoes to the fraying strap of her bag. Under the weight of that stare, Myra's throat dried. Maybe she should have ignored the envelope when she found it under her door, just pretended it had blown in from the hallway like the maintenance staff suggested. But something about its weight, its secrecy, had made her uneasy. "Name?" the receptionist asked without looking up. Her manicured nails clicked rapidly against the keyboard. "Mira Collins," she whispered. The receptionist finally glanced at her, surprise flickering, just for a second, before her face fell back into professional indifference. "Mr. Hale will see you now." Mira froze. "Mr. Hale, the Victor Hale." Her pulse thundered in her ears as a uniformed guard stepped forward and motioned her to follow. Every instinct screamed that she should run. But her feet moved anyway, carrying her past towering portraits of the billionaire smiling beside presidents and dignitaries. As she climbed the stairs behind the guard, a cold thought slid into her mind. Why would a man like Victor Hale personally summon her over a simple lost envelope? She didn't know it yet, but her life was about to tilt sharply off its axis. Victor Hale was already smiling when Mira entered his office, not a warm smile, but the kind a cat wears when it has already decided the fate of the mouse. His office was enormous, a glass-walled throne room overlooking the city from the 28th floor. Behind him, the skyline glittered in winter sunlight, making him appear almost crowned by it. He sat casually behind a walnut desk the size of Myra's entire kitchen table, fingertips pressed together in a gesture that suggested control, certainty, ownership. "Mira Collins," he said smoothly, as though her name were printed on a card he'd been waiting to flip. "Please, come in." She stepped forward, feeling the weight of his gaze settle on the envelope clutched against her side. He motioned to a chair across from him, but even sitting felt unsafe, so she perched on the edge of it like she might need to sprint away at any moment. "So," Hale drawled, "you're the woman returning my envelope." There it was again, that effortless claim, like a king pointing to land he hadn't seen but somehow still possessed. I'm not sure it's yours," Mira said softly. "I just found it outside my—" Hale interrupted with a chuckle. It rolled through the room, deep, amused, dismissive. "No need to be modest," he said. "I know exactly what's inside. I dropped it during my morning run. Happens to the best of us." But something in his tone didn't match his words. Too confident, too rehearsed. Myra's fingers tightened around the envelope. She still hadn't opened it. Even now she felt wrong doing so, but the weight of it, the thickness of whatever was inside, sent a prickle of unease up her spine. "Go on," Hale said, leaning forward, voice now silk wrapped around steel. "Hand it over." For a moment, no one breathed. Myra's heart thudded painfully. Every instinct told her something wasn't right. This wasn't a forgetful billionaire reclaiming lost property. This was a man who needed something desperately, and was used to getting it. Before Mira could respond, the office door swung open with a force that made her jump. A man rushed in, hair tousled and suit wrinkled as if he'd run all the way from the other side of the city. His eyes were wide, urgent, scanning the room until they landed on the envelope in Myra's hands. "That envelope. Stop," he shouted, voice sharp enough to cut through Hale's confident smirk. Victor Hale's chair scraped against the floor as he stood abruptly, the easy arrogance vanishing like mist under sunlight. "What's this?" he demanded, voice suddenly tight. "Who are you to interrupt me?" The man's gaze shifted to Mira, and relief mixed with urgency softened his tone. "Ma'am, thank you for bringing it back. That envelope, it's mine." Mira blinked, confusion twisting in her chest. "Yours?" Hale laughed, a short, brittle sound. "She came to return it to me. Everyone knows it's mine." "No," the man said, slamming a hand on the desk. He pulled out an ID card and thrust it toward Hale. "I'm the internal auditor for Sterling Heights Corp. That envelope contains critical evidence for the board. It doesn't belong to you, Hale." Myra's stomach dropped. Evidence. Board. What had she gotten herself into? Her fingers instinctively curled around the envelope as if it were a lifeline. Hale's face darkened, his jaw rigid. "You don't understand. This is private. Very private. Give it to me, now." The auditor stepped forward, unwavering. "No, you have no right to it. And ma'am," he said, looking at Mira with gratitude, "you did exactly the right thing by bringing it here. But you must let me handle it." Mira felt a strange mixture of fear and empowerment. For hours she'd thought returning the envelope was a simple, harmless act. Now, caught between a desperate billionaire and a man guarding truth and justice, she realized it was far more dangerous, and far more important, than she could have imagined. Mira stepped back, clutching the envelope to her chest as if it could shield her from the chaos unfolding. For the first time, she saw fear flicker across Victor Hale's otherwise impenetrable facade. His perfectly tailored suit seemed almost too tight now, as if it couldn't contain the anger and desperation coiling inside him. "You don't understand," Hale barked, his voice echoing off the glass walls. "This envelope. This," he gestured wildly, but words failed him. The confidence that had seemed eternal just minutes ago had collapsed. The auditor approached Mira carefully, voice calm yet firm. "You did the right thing bringing it back," he said. "It contains documents meant for the board. Hale has no legal or moral claim over it." Myra's fingers trembled as she finally extended the envelope. She handed it to the auditor, feeling the weight of responsibility shift from herself to someone who truly understood what it meant. Hale lunged forward, desperation etched across his face, but before he could touch a thing, the quiet hum of the security system sprang to life. Guards appeared in a synchronized flurry, moving with precise efficiency to restrain him. Hale struggled, shouting accusations, threats, and insults, but the officers didn't flinch. The room, once dominated by his presence, now hummed with a different energy, a sense of justice slowly reclaiming its space. Mira stood frozen for a moment, watching the fall of a man who had seemed untouchable, realizing that even power has limits when weighed against truth. The auditor finally held the envelope to his chest, giving Mira a nod of gratitude. "Thanks to you, the board will have what it needs. You did exactly the right thing." Mira exhaled, the tension draining from her shoulders. The office that had once felt suffocatingly grand now seemed almost ordinary. She had come to return a simple envelope, expecting nothing more than a polite thank you. Instead, she had stepped into a storm, and emerged on the other side with a quiet sense of triumph. As she walked toward the exit, whispers followed her. Employees paused, glancing at the restrained billionaire and the envelope in the auditor's hands. Mira realized then that sometimes the right choice doesn't just fix a mistake. It shifts the balance of an entire world, one small act at a time.